Welcome, and thank you for joining us for another edition of Open Door, where we take a few minutes to sit down with different leaders of the Puerto Rico National Guard, in this case with commanders, high-ranking commanders, to take advantage of their open door. Today, it's a pleasure for me to have in our studio Col Samuel Agosto, who is the new commander of the 101st Troop Command. Sir, thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm very happy.
Good. Well, exciting times. You're basically in transition in command. No change of command ceremony just yet. Correct?
That is correct. We have scheduled the chain of command pending for approval or final approval from the TAG office 16 December in Col Santiago. So we're still working on the details.
Okay. No one is able to jump right into a command position at this level without having lots of experience. I know you're active duty intelligence officer in Panama, and you've been deployed a couple times, all sorts of different experiences. If you could go over that, please.
Sure. I'd like to, first of all, I'd like to appreciate the time and the opportunity to talk to you and the soldiers in the Puerto Rico National Guard, the greatest institution we have in Puerto Rico. And so yes, I'm a graduate from the ROTC, Maya West, University of Puerto Rico. And when I graduated from the program, I started active duty. I graduated in December, and in February I was on active duty orders already. I was a ROTC scholarship, so I had to serve 4 years mandatory. So I joined the active duty as a military intelligence, and my first brigade was the 513 my brigade in Fort Gordon, Georgia. It had recently moved from New Jersey to Fort Gordon. Once I did my 4 years, I decided to join the National Guard in Puerto Rico. And so I was an end-day soldier assigned to the 130th Engineer Battalion as the S2. And so I kind of started my career as a Guard member with the 130th. So I did that as an end-day, did that for a couple of years. At the time I had a commander, Colonel Abel Concha. Many people know who he was. And he offered me or asked me, hey, there's this program, AGR, and I applied for it. I did not know that exists because I came from active duty. I wasn't very acquainted with all the different programs in the Guard. So I applied for that, and that's when I started as an active Guard. So I've been a active Guard Reserve, or AGR, for the Puerto Rico National Guard for the past almost 20 years. So I did that, and I worked throughout the Guard during the 9/11. I was the head of the security for the Puerto Rico National Guard. So I did that until I reached and then I was a commander of an MI company when the separate infantry brigade, the 92nd, we still had at that time. So I did that for a couple of years, and then after that I moved to. I had a mission in Kosovo, and I went to Kosovo a couple times. And both times that I went to Kosovo, I went in the capacity of an intel officer. So the first time I was the chief of operation for the 29th Infantry Division, and the second tour that I had in Kosovo, I was the G2X, which I had the CI human. I was the supervisor for the CI human operation and theater. Once I came back, I did the transition to combat engineer, and I was assigned as an XO of the 190th Engineer Battalion, and then I moved to, I was the S3 for the 130th, did that for a couple of years, and then I did a very short time XO 190th, and then I was a commander of the 130th. And then I did that for a couple of years, then I was selected to become the deputy G3 for the state, and I did that for almost a year. I was nominated and selected to go to the Inter-American Defense College in Fort McNair, and I attended that for a year, and then I came back as the G3, and then I've been the G3 since recently. I'm still the G3 during the week. We're in transition, taking over command of the 101st Troop Command. So basically, in a very overall view, I just kind of gave you an idea of my career, how it started from ROTC all the way up to this point.
Could you explain a little bit about the makeup of the 101st? I understand it's the biggest and the most complex or diverse in the Puerto Rico Guard.
Sure. The 101st Troop Command is, again, the word Troop Command is designed to provide mission command to several separate units. So the Troop Command right now is the biggest major subordinate command that the Puerto Rico National Guard has. Why it is? Well, it has two engineer battalions. One engineer battalion is the 130th, has two sapper company, and it has the horizontal company or the construction company now, and they have the headquarters, and then they have the firefighting team, which is a small element but very effective and very known. And so that tells you the variety of unit that just one battalion has. Then you got the 190 that has the same thing as the 130th, except the sapper, but they have the bridges there, and then have the EOD. So we have a very diverse of assets and in our organization in those two engineer battalions. Then we also have the infantry battalion, the 296, which is located in Maya West. Recently just came back from the rotation from XCTC. So we have an infantry battalion, so we have a combat unit in our organization, and we also have the aviation assets under the Troop Command. We have the TDS, which is a Trial Defense Service. We have the 113M pad, and we also have the band, so the 248 band that plays many activities for the Puerto Rico, not only for the Guard, but plays numerous places that are requested through the TAG office, and so our band is very known in many places. So we have a very diverse organization. It takes a lot of effort from all the leadership at all the levels to understand each other, and I think it's a great experience. You get to learn about almost anything we have in our organization. Sure. Because we got it all, and I'm very proud to be the commander of this organization.
Well, you know, a few minutes ago you took the opportunity to invite people to become an officer. You mentioned as one of the units, the 113th MPAD, Mobile Public Affairs Detachment. I'll follow your suit and take a moment to ask our viewers, in that unit, being a former commander of the unit, lots of vacancies. So people who like to work in photography and videography and videos, there's lots of work to be done and a lot of opportunities out there.
This is a great opportunity. And I like to put this number out there. It's about over 2,000 soldiers. Wow. That the Troop Command has. So it is a very important command. It is a command that holds a lot of the statistics that we have in the Guard, and so it takes a lot of effort and to keep those numbers there and to keep the readiness that we are focusing. Yes.
Right. And with all those over 2,000 soldiers, I know there's a lot of things going on. Units preparing for mobilization, others in exercises with other states. What are some things that are
sure.
happening?
The 296, you know, at some point the Army, as part of the modernization and updates of the force structures, there was a third maneuver unit assigned to the IBCTs, and I'm speaking for the 296. So the 296 was aligned to the 33rd IBCT from Illinois, and a memorandum of agreement between our TAG and their TAG was established for the formality that it takes. This MOA, or memorandum of agreement, is between the two states, but there's a third party in there, which is the National Guard Bureau. And the reason for this is because since the 296 is aligned with the 33rd IBCT, however, that I am the commander, in that agreement, they have to report their readiness to the 33rd IBCT. So in the training plan, in the path of ensuring that this unit is ready and is validated and it goes through the same process as the 33rd IBCT, and maintaining that relationship with the mission command that the IBCT has, is imperative that this command maintain the report with the 33rd IBCT Illinois. It does not only happen at the battalion level and with that brigade commander, but it also happens at the state level, between the 3 from our state and the 3 from the state of Illinois, and the 4 and the 1. There's multiple conversation There's a continued effort to make sure that the readiness of this unit is there and what is expected. So if the 33rd IBCT goes to war, it goes to war with all the battalions, and our battalion will be part of that effort as well. So I see a lot of goodness in this. I see that we go beyond Puerto Rico as an island. We go beyond, and we have this relationship with other states. So I think it's a very good thing. It puts us very relevant because everybody sees us at the NGB and they see our unit, and so it makes us important. And I think this is the kind of thing that we have to continue to pursue for the sake of our readiness and making sure that we comply with the TAG's vision, which is being relevant, having our guard to be relevant. And so I'll give kudos to the 296 for all the great work they've done, and meeting the TAG's intent, meeting the NGB's intent, and meeting that commander's intent from Illinois. So many bosses, multiple bosses that we have in those relationships.
Yes. You mentioned the TAG's intent or vision. As new commander, I'm certain you have your own vision, and probably command philosophy has already been handed out or distributed among the units.
I have. Yes, I have. And as soon as I took over command, the TAG, a couple months prior to that, he shared his thoughts with me, and I went back to my to my place and put some thoughts into it, and really look into the TAG's intent and vision, what he's looking at and what he's been talking about. And so I kind of developed my command philosophy, around that. And I want to emphasize, and I want to take this opportunity, and I want to emphasize, it's already been distributed to everybody in the command since 1 September. But I want to emphasize on something that I put on there. It's bolded, and it says the 3 big R. And the 3 big R is recruiting, is the first R. We all are recruiters. There's a recruiting command. However, in my command, everybody is a recruiter. So if we have 2,000 soldiers, I have 2,000 recruiters. And what does that mean? It means that every single soldier in my command should have, soldiers and leaders should have a phone number on their contact from a recruiter. You have that in there, and if you go to Walmart or you go shopping somewhere and someone asks you about the guard, talk about the guard, and then get their number, call that recruiter, and then give that lead to that recruiter. And then the recruiter is going to do all the technical piece. But talk about the guard, because our uniform, when people see our uniform, when they see us around, they ask. I get asked all the time when I go in uniform and I have lunch somewhere. And what I do is I have that fast dial there, and I say, I got a recruiter for you. And I get a recruiter. Let the recruiter do their job and talking about the other stuff. But let us provide that lead to the recruiters, because every single one of us is a recruiter. Retention, letter R number 2. So retention, once we recruit the soldiers and we bring them to our ranks, we got to find a way to retain them. And it takes every leadership in our command to make sure that we challenge our soldiers, that if they were trained to do combat engineer tasks, let's make sure they do combat engineering tasks, because when that soldier signed up for that MOS, that soldier was really was convinced that was something that they wanted to do, and that was something that they want to experience. So if you provide the venue for our soldiers to do what they intend to do, we're going to keep them here. If our soldiers, we also have to sympathize with our soldier. We have to sympathize, if we need to help them on any aspect of their life. We are all part of a family. The Guard is a family. Many of us have been here for a while, have seen each other's kids grown, have seen marriages. We grew up together, so we kind of, we're a family. So embrace those soldiers. How can I help you? There's opportunities to go to college. There is scholarship. There is fitna. There's other benefits. Give them a call, email or WhatsApp or text them, whatever the means we have to communicate. And let's see, and let's find out what's going on with the soldier and help them out, or her, and retain them. So And that's the way we can retain it. Simple things, just by listening to soldiers' concern, taking care of those concerns, taking care of those bonus, taking care of the needs of the soldier, and we can retain the soldiers. We need to retain the soldiers to keep our guard up. And we have a big number in Troop Command. So big number means more retainability, okay, more retention. And last not least is readiness. So readiness has three parts. Is the third, right, the third letter, R. It has three parts. Talk about personnel, equipment, and training. So personnel is kind of, keeping your soldiers' readiness medically. We're right now in the flu shot right now, it's season, so we got to make sure all of our soldiers get the vaccination. That's part of that personnel readiness. Equipment, we got to make sure that our supply sergeants, our commanders, are making sure that we get the appropriate equipment for our soldiers, for goggles, gloves, personal equipment, the new uniform, and all that. So that's kind of the leading for the equipment, to make sure that our leadership gets involved. And the piece of training is to have creative, innovative training for our soldiers, so that way the soldiers feel that they're doing what they sign up to do for. So they sign up to be infantries, we give them infantry task. They sign up to be aviators, aviation, then they do aviation task, because aviation is also another unit that we have in our 101st Troop Command. So if they're in the band, they play an instrument, okay, and we do that. MPAT, they do MPAT task, and if they do that, soldiers will remain in the force, and their readiness will be there. So basically, in my vision, and I address this to every single person in the 101st Troop Command, is that we need you. We want you to stay in our guard. We want you to remain in our formations. We want you to grow in our formation. We want you to go to school, and we want you to get promoted. So that is the bottom line of our intent, at least my intent, in the time that I'll be the commander, is to make sure that we accomplish those tasks.
It makes sense just listening to you. The third R of readiness, if you take care of that soldier and show empathy and ensure that he or she gets the training and the equipment and everything needed, by default, the retention piece should be a given, because they'll want to stay, they'll want to be a part of the organization, because they know they're being taken care of and feeling that they're part of a team.
I'll ask you a question. If you go somewhere and they make you feel good,
right,
and they make you feel part of a team, and they accommodate you, would you like to stay there?
Yeah, of course. Family.
Exactly. It's exactly the same feeling. This is about, it's simple. And again, I go back to the word simplicity. It's a very simple thing. Sometimes we want to think about a rocket science thing, and it's not. It's just make sure the soldier is taken care of. I see, when I go around and I walk in, the buildings, I see a soldier sitting waiting for something. I ask the soldier, are you being helped? Simple things like that. And the soldier, just by asking, are you being helped or not? And that shows that someone cares. So that's simple things, and we can keep our soldiers in our formations. Sure. Yes.
Perhaps you've already answered it. I think you have partially, but do you have a specific message to your subordinate commanders, the battalion and company levels?
Yes, thank you for bringing that up, because I'll definitely take this opportunity to reinforce what we already talked about, because I've met with my commanders already, is the biggest thing that I ask my commander is keep it simple, stay focused, okay? The numbers are out there. We have matrix that we measure ourselves, and because it's so easy to be distracted, and then so our main goal is to focus on those goals, focus on the personnel issues that we're working on right now in our formation, like the NCOERs, the OERs, the medical readiness piece, our infrastructure, because after Hurricane Maria, obviously we have some significant damages to our facility. So are there any concern that may impact safety, morale? So I ask my commanders engagement. I ask my commander to fully engage in the problems of the unit and the organization. They should not be delegated. They should be intimately involved. I want to be intimately involved. I want to hear it from my commander. So I want to hear my commanders bring in concerns and bring in the ideas, bring in the problem with some recommendations. And we're going to work this together, and I will take this to the next level, and also bring those recommendations to the highest levels as well. Because if we do that, it's just very simple. If we do that, we'll be able to fix a lot of problems.
How about a certain message for them, the young soldiers who are just in their first term?
Sure.
They're in the troop command. Their 6-year enlistment perhaps might be coming close to an end. Not sure what they want to do.
I would ask to every soldier in the command, and we're specifically talking and addressing to those first termer, to take the challenge. We're going into a process of modernization. There's going to be a new PT test, a new way. There's going to be many other opportunities coming our way for all these first termer. If you remain in the Guard, you're going to have those opportunities coming your way. And I really ask you to give a chance to owe up to the challenge and remain in the force in the formation. If there's an issue, bring those issues. If someone's not listening to you, go to the next chain of command, or I'm going to take this opportunity here. Open door policy is in effect. Come to me. Come to my office and address your problems to me. And I want to hear it. And I want to help you out. But don't let this opportunity of having a career that you can have a retirement paycheck, after 20 years. You can have some additional benefit. You can have some medical benefit, an experience that you can use for your resume and trying to seek some other jobs or better jobs. There's a lot of opportunities when you stay in the Guard and you take the opportunity of building that resume. So I ask you to remain, give it a chance, owe up to the challenge, and again, stay Guard.
Cool, very good. As we bring things to a close, is there anything that perhaps we haven't discussed that you'd like to take the opportunity to mention to the audience?
No, I really like what you're doing. Congratulations on what you're doing. This is a great initiative. I think we should do this very often or more often, and this will be a great effort. Nowadays, everything is through Facebook and social media's engagement, so I know this is going to go out there and many people are going to listen to it, and I think that would be great. So I'll take this opportunity to thank you for what you're doing, and thanks for everybody for serving the country, serving Puerto Rico. It's not going unknown what you've done.
Puerto Rico National Guard, thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much. All right, you have a good one.
Thank you.
Cool.